We'll begin by laying down, hands under your shoulders, and press up. Just your upper body here. We'll do a few. Take a breath. When you come up, take a deep breath, and release down. Push up, and come back down. We're preparing to do a full reach up. This is to help your posture and gain strength in your spine. Your glutes and legs are relaxed here. Then come down. We're rolling our shoulders back, keeping those hands under your shoulders. And just roll, circling right, left. Press back up. Take a deep breath and come back down. Again, roll shoulders, right, left, keeping the hands under your shoulders, gazing slightly in front of you. And we're going to push back to sit and rest into a child's pose. Some deep breaths here. Next, we're going to warm up those wrists and alleviate some tension from holding yourself up. So we're just circling our hands at our wrists. The fingers follow along for the ride. Circle your wrists. I often lead with my middle finger to draw a circle. Make sure that your wrists are moving. Okay, we're back down. We're going to press up into a plank. Now the goal here is to have your elbows in alignment with your shoulders. We're working our buttocks, our glutes down, and our bellies are in. Now eventually we'll get to something that looks more like a straight plank. We're gaining mobility together. Do what you can. You will feel it. Drop your knees down. Press back to stretch and rest into a child's pose. Take some deep breaths. Gorgeous view, isn't it? So next, we will prepare on our hands and knees. And we're going to work on those glutes. So press your foot up, 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 bringing your knee back down to starting point and pushing that foot up to the sky. Belly in. Try not to let it hang and relax. And your gaze is slightly forward. Just keep pressing that foot up. Oh, here it looks like I got a little tired and started pushing back, but your goal is to press up to the sky. You'll feel it either way. I know I was while doing this. So press up, squeeze that glute, lift the leg up. Don't worry too much about having exact technique here. We're just warming up and engaging those glutes, getting them to wake up after sitting down day after day. You have to make sure to remind them that they're alive. We're alive. Deep breaths, push up. Take a rest again, child's pose. Circle your wrists. Always breathing deep and calm. Circle those hands and wrists. Okay, now we come to standing position. We're going to correct our posture into dance posture. So I've dropped my hips, tucked in the belly. Shoulders are back and down. Knees are bent. Here I'm checking my posture. So my thumbs are touching the bottom two ribs, and my middle finger is touching the top of my hips. I do this to check, to make sure that I'm not arching too far back or too scrunched, hunched forward. We're always bending our knees, I've opened my legs to be shoulder width apart. And we're just taking deep breaths here, reaching up to the sky, opening up. Breathe in and out. In, out. Calming, deep breaths. Legs open apart. We're going to come down into a squat. Make sure that your hips are tucked under to protect your spine. And we're going to reach over to one side and to the other. This is going to engage your obliques, the sides of your body, and will once again strengthen your spine. It also serves as a warm-up to get us ready for more movement. Here I'm opening to the sides, just reaching, circle in front of you and out to the side. Circle, out, then reach, and reach side to side, allowing that upper body to follow, and now the legs. We were slightly lunging side to side to get the legs warmed up. Here we go into a chair position. You're going to sit back, tighten those abs to hold you. Here I will show you what I was doing with my hands. So we're just stretching our fingers one at a time, going out and in. Some hand circles and then finger stretches. Especially if you're on a computer all the time, you want to be able to keep mobility in your hands. So here we are sitting back in chair and circling our fingers in, and then out, out. Keep reversing as you feel comfortable. You should feel this in your whole lower body, but we're going to ignore that and work on our hands. Here we're interlacing our fingers. You're going to reach up and you're going to pull those fingers with as much tension as you can, and then you're going to let go and circle your hands out, but don't let them flop. Make sure you're pulling, creating that tension, and you're going to hold that tension and try to slow down the movement. Interlace fingers, come up, pull, and circle all around. This is going to wake up your arms. Let's sit down, and once we're seated, we'll work on some head slides. So imagine that there's a pencil at your nose or chin, and you're drawing a straight line right in front of you. Another way you can think about it is if there's a string pulling from ear to ear. So we're not going to twist our face or head. You're going to keep it from ear to ear, side to side. Back to circling our wrists. You can see them better here. I'm using my middle finger to draw a circle around, and then engaging those wrists as well. This is not necessarily a dance isolation. It's really more for mobility in the hands. Start healing from using computers too long. It's a beautiful way to do it, isn't it? So lift your wrist. Now we're going to keep the finger still, and you're circling just your wrist. So imagine drawing a circle with your wrist, and don't worry about the fingers. We're just keeping them together. The emphasis here of the movement is only in the wrist. Circle just the wrist. Keeping your shoulders down, elbows lifted, and circle your wrists. Floreo hands. So your thumb and middle finger are in. You're You're going to imagine that you're holding an hourglass, and you're going to lift that wrist and place the glass down. Grab, lift wrist, place down. Keeping that shoulder down and elbow lifted. You're going to floreo your hands just to the half point, then you release and come back around to start again. So grab the hourglass, lift, drop. Keeping that C in the fingers between your thumb and your middle finger. Grab and drop, lifting that wrist, shoulders down, elbow lifted. Here we go with both hands. Raise your arms up. One comes down out to the side. Keep floreo in the hands. Shoulders down even when the arms are up. It's a windy day. Keep going with your floreo. And off to the side again. One arm up, one down. Both hands are in a floreo. Circling those fingers and wrists. And come back up. Down. Take a breath. All right, here we are in a squat position. Opening your legs. Make sure that your hips are tucked under. And we're going to sit. It will burn after a little while, which will feel great. We're going to focus on the upper body. So here we're lifting our elbows and dropping. Lift the elbows and drop. Lift, drop. Lift, drop. The hands are coming along for the ride. Shoulders stay down. And you stay seated in your squat position. Here I'm going into the shoulders, then the elbows, and then the wrist. Very big. Circle in the shoulders, lift those elbows, and the wrists follow. Stretch up and come down. Release the lower back. You stretch the back of your legs and let your upper body hang. And go into some slight movement side to side into some lunges. Take a breath, come up. Go back into your squat position. And here we're pressing our wrists together and then pulling them out. So wrists go in and out, in, out, in, out. Keeping the arms up. Looks quite simple, but it does require much strength to hold yourself into this position. Eventually we will go lower. Here we're just getting our mobility back, sitting down all day. You're gonna shake it out. Give yourself a nice stretch on your arms and shoulders. Drop your shoulders here. Just reach out to the side. Drop your shoulders. You're gonna create a little tension in your arms there. Now we're gonna work on our chest slides. So we're gonna slide the chest from side to side. Remember your dance posture. Bend your knees, even more so than I have here. Tuck your hips in. Upper body floats above that. Shoulders back and down, and you're just sliding your chest side to side. And here, front and back. You're using your upper back muscles to squeeze. Press your chest forward, and then squeeze your obliques to bring it in. Squeeze upper back, upper abs. Oblique, oblique, side to side. So you're going to squeeze your left oblique when going right, and squeeze your right oblique when going left. Don't worry about your shoulders. We'll later learn to isolate. But for right now, we're moving, getting an understanding of the movement, reminding our bodies that we can move, keeping that mobility. So arms are out, shoulders are back and down. We're going to reach side to side. Here we're hitting 4 points. So we're going to go right oblique to move the chest left, upper back to move the chest front, left oblique to move right, and then upper abs to move back. Oblique, upper back, oblique, upper abs. All the way around, hitting 4 points. Go a little faster now. Slow it down. Obliques, abs, obliques, upper back, oblique. Oops, went too fast for me to say it. Keep going around. Hitting those 4 points. And now we're going to round it out into a circle. So you're still hitting all those 4 points. Try the motion going both ways. You're going to lift your chest. Remember to use your upper back to lift that chest. Here my shoulders are moving. The goal is eventually to get your chest circle where you're not moving your shoulders. But for right now, I was just trying to get my body to start moving again and round out those movements. Wake up the body. This is more for dance fitness and not technique. And here we're pressing our knees back, back, keeping always a soft bend in the knees. We're going into this easy shimmy, not much thought to it, just wiggle your knees and let your hips follow. And just wiggle the lower part of your body, just let that wiggle, while the upper body is our emphasis. Here we're rolling our shoulders front and then back, alternating. Right shoulder, left shoulder. Roll back, let the elbows and wrists follow. Get a little cardio in. Really shake that lower body. And you're rolling your shoulders and elbows back. Deep breath. Here we're going to go back into dance posture, bend those knees. We're squeezing our glutes to lift and relaxing to lower. Squeeze your glute up, relax to lower. Squeeze up, relax to lower. My hands are just showing you the emphasis of the movement. When you do it, you just want arms out, relaxed. You're going to squeeze and release those glutes. Try to walk forward and back as you do them. Go a little faster. Squeeze, release. Although we are squeezing our glutes and alternating here, we're not being too rigid with the movement. It's okay if our hips swing out to the side. We're not keeping a sharp movement, just loose. Pump those knees, use the glutes, and then just let your body swing side to side, keeping the upper body still, and then the lower body. You're throwing those hips. Imagine slamming a car door. Push your hips side to side. Squeeze and release those glutes. Coming back to center now. Focus on squeezing and releasing. That's going to get you a nice little workout. One arm up, one out. We're into floreo. Circle those wrists. Bring the arms back up. You're no longer thinking about those hips. You're just pushing them side to side. And we're working on our hands here. One arm up, one out, circling your wrist into the floreo. Take a breath. Reset. Deep breath. Having fun? All right. Here we're going to come back down. I'm going to remove my belt. We're going to go on hands and knees and press up into a down dog. Now, until we can get to a full down dog, You're going to alternate with bent knees and then working on your upper body, your chest, pushing towards those knees. And then you're also going to straighten the legs and not worry so much about the upper body. And you'll keep alternating that way. You'll still get the benefits of a downward dog. Here I'm resting in child's pose. And we're going to try again and come up into a down dog. Bend and straighten the knees. Press that chest in. Deep breaths. Come down to your knees and sit back on a child's pose once again to rest. Take some breaths here. And now we're going to stretch one leg out into a half leg stretch. I'm squeezing and releasing my glutes to help with the stretching. Also, I don't think I can sit still very much. So we're just squeezing, releasing. That's opening up my hips a little bit. So I'm not very flexible just yet. But working my glutes in there seemed to relax my hips. And eventually I was able to open up the hips and sit a little more comfortably. As long as you're feeling the stretch, it doesn't matter how far you can go. Here I move around, try to find a comfortable spot. I'm sitting up with the knees together, but you can sit any way you want. Cross-legged or work some more on the legs out. I'm just stretching my neck, circling to the front and falling off to the side. Using my hand to gently stretch a little further. Make sure you're working that shoulder down. The position I'm sitting in does help get those hips nice and open and feels good on the lower back to stretch forward.